When we left our heroes, they got beat by like a box. That was pretty wild, huh?
No, we did not.
In all seriousness, our party found themselves trapped, manacled by truly elemental god level chains that they somehow escaped in a dungeon somewhere in the world after taking what was seemingly an innocuous job guarding a caravan for the Moonglow Trading Company. After some quick and careful exploration, they found a large glowing statue in the middle of a very grand center room that required 2 different trials to be completed before any real progress could be made. From the center room, several smaller rooms were seen, presumably the locations of these trials, and the party, after hearing what was distressed screaming and crying from a room beyond a large blue wall that could not be passed through, decided to split themselves 3 and 3 in an attempt to clear these trials faster. The first of the group discovered a room with 3 suspicious wells and some sort of blue object broken into 3 pieces at the bottom of these wells. While investigating these wells, 3 other party members found a room with nothing but a suspicious box. After many, many thorough checks to determine that this box was, in fact, a box, it wasn't. It was a magical suit of armor that turned out to be the first of the 2 trials, the Trial of Might. This box came to life and immediately engaged in combat with our heroes. After a couple close calls and some damage, the party was able to reconvene and best the box, ultimately resulting in a large blue orb appearing from what was left of the trial, traveling to the center altar and illuminating the southmost orb in the altar. Now, our party, slightly bruised and significantly more cautious, has reconvened and are attempting to find a way out of this dungeon.
Who gave you the right to say we were cautious?
I'm God. I have all the rights, so keep that in mind.
I have the rights, and you just took them. Yeah. And that's not fair.
But the rights are God-given, and I'm God, so I give you the right to be cautious.
I
you may choose to use
it. I gave you the given rights.
Yeah. In a funny sense, I'm actually the god above gods, because I made Ophis, so it's really metaphysical in that sense.
I am the creator.
Don't hurt my brain like that, okay?
It's a real fifth wall conundrum.
That's a bit much for this Friday night so far.
Anyone else want to go to church?
I mean, I heard there's a really cool new guy from Chicago or something.
Yeah, right.
It might light on fire if I walk in there.
Dude, the Bears are going to have a hell of a year. Pun intended.
Chicago White Sox aren't.
Yeah. But in all
not even the Pope can help them.
Where was the pun?
Well, the guy from Chicago became the new Pope, so I said they'll have a hell of a year because it's.
Oh yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, my awful attempt at stand-up comedy aside, you guys should have access to the map, and when last we left off, you had just watched the giant blue orb get pulled from the remains of the chest that had burned into slag because of Onyx's spell, and it got magically wisped into the center statue. You watched it get sucked into the statue, and the statue is now glowing a slightly brighter blue, and that one orb is now significantly illuminated, and that trial has been completed. Oh, and Ataraxia, Brontes, and Calyx, you ran over and you caught the tail end of that fight, but you have not talked to them about what happened. You just saw them get beat up by a box.
Onyx
I mean, I got to watch.
Head over to the others.
Let's all reconvene. Everybody collect yourselves.
I saw Onyx take it down because we flanked them in the end.
Yes, you did, because you watched it light on fire and then decided not to hit it because you thought it'd be cool to watch it burn to death.
And I was right.
And I was right.
True enough.
Okay, everybody. I think we're done splitting us up after
Does somebody want to tell me what happened?
For now.
Yeah, so we walked in there. There was a chest. I didn't like it, but nobody listened to me. And we tried to open it. And then it attacked us.
And it very much hurt.
Cole very much opened it. Cole very much got slapped by a box, and Onyx saved him.
Wait,
Onyx
quick question
would
though.
not have
Was-
been able to win that fight without his teammates.
Yeah,
Quick
Agreed.
question though.
I agree with
Was
that
there
part.
anything in the
Anyway,
chat?
Are you asking
there was
me?
nothing.
or- Oh.
So
No, I'm asking like Onyx who burned it
Oh,
down. I'm like,
sorry.
hey, was there anything in the chest? I don't think we actually checked it.
the chest was that armor thing person.
Oh yeah,
chest-
but did it have
completely
anything
fell apart.
inside it?
The thing that came out of it was that blue orb we all saw fly over here. And seeing as it is lighting up one of the two placements near that statue, I think that
Oh,
I
wait,
think
there's
what he's
another-
asking is if
Felix is
there's
on
anything
something.
else in the chest.
Yes. That
in the chest that
burned
turned
for
into
sure.
a person.
Nobody has investigated the remnants
Is
of the
there
chest.
remnants left?
Yes, there is a
I don't
pile
know.
of like
the
burnt
glowing
wood
blue
and
orb
slag.
kind of caught my attention, so
Well,
no.
it looks like Cole's on his way to go check it now, so.
I deleted the token, but it was in the topmost corner of the room.
What did you guys see in the other room, Calyx?
So we saw.
Hold on, wait a second. We don't have two people with us, guys.
Yeah,
We can
because
just-
Ataraxia and Cole are both by the chest.
Yeah. Are you investigating?
Yeah.
Are you investigating the remains of the chest?
I am.
Okay, both of you can roll investigation.
Cole needs a moment.
Give it a sec.
It's,
Cole needs
it's the
a
rust. You got to
moment.
remember how to do it. You just got to shake the rust off.
No, I was just taking a second to load the sheet.
Oh, okay, 16 and 18. Okay.
Nice.
So you guys, while remembering that, you're like, oh, we never actually checked what was in the chest. It just got up and started beating us. You sift through the pile of what is now kind of white ashy, what was once wood, and a bunch of metal that is burned away into melted, warped slag, and there was nothing in the chest. It's an empty chest. And you ascertain,
A waste of time.
you ascertain the chest was meant to be empty. It was the trial was to catch you off guard and attempt to physically best you, and you have passed that trial by not being physically bested. There was never meant to be a reward. The reward was succeeding or dying.
Great, fantastic.
So
Thank you.
friendship was the
So we
answer
did it.
all along.
Okay, so now
That'll
that we've
work.
cleared that up and the glowing orb that I said came from the armor person, I'm assuming that there's another one because there's another spot for it by that statue. What did you guys see in the room you went to investigate?
We did find what appeared to be a puzzle of 3 wells, if I'm remembering correctly, because this traumatic experience with the chest feels like it's been about 2 weeks long.
Whoa, metagaming.
that-
What is happening? I'm kidding.
No,
It was 3 wells. Yes.
3 wells. One appeared to have some sort of like acid or like sulfuric substance in it, which disintegrated metal that we tried to put in it. There are like objects at the bottom of each of the wells. I think it's best if we all go to check out the wells rather than trying for me to explain it.
Okay,
Agreed.
then
Okay.
lead the way, I suppose.
And then the party traveled to the room with the wells in it.
I don't remember how to move myself. Somebody help me. Okay, never mind.
And then I'll move Calyx.
Thank you, God.
Yeah. Would you like to be in front of a
Being a buff
particular
guy.
well?
I would like to be in front of the well full of water.
Water? Oh, well. Sai is there.
I don't know if that was the top.
You'd have to ask her to
I'll get
move.
on the other side.
Okay.
I'll move. You keep.
Oh. There. You are now looking at each other from across the well.
Aww.
Would you like me to
But yeah,
Would you like me to remind you what your investigations revealed of the 3 wells instead of investigating them
I would
again?
greatly appreciate
Okay.
that.
So
I mean,
Thanks,
yeah.
God.
in this room, there are 3 wells. The bottommost well looks completely empty, but has an incredibly muddy and sandy bottom. In that sandy substance, there is 1/3 of a blue object. It looks to be some sort of like shaft, like some sort of long cylindrical object, and it is like a bright sapphire blue, enough so that you could see it down 10 foot down in the well. The middle well is completely full to the brim with water, all the way to the top. And the water is completely clear, No algae, no smell, no bugs or bug larvae, no movement in it, completely still. It looks as though you had dumped 100 gallons of pristine river water 5 seconds before you looked in the well. It looks completely preserved. And in the topmost well, it is an empty well except for the bottom 5 feet, where it contains a clear but faintly green liquid that you, after dumping some rope and a metal hook in, discovered was some type of acidic substance. And in the bottom of that acidic substance, you saw what looked to be some sort of arrowhead or point of the same blue sapphire creation. It looked to be the same material that the one in the bottom well is. And then I think you saw in the second well in the bottom of the water, there was a blue gemstone of the same sapphire blue color that the other 2 wells contain. If not, then you know now.
I have an idea that I don't know if we can do or not.
Okay.
Can we check is there a way to check if this middle well is actually just straight water or if it's like a basic substance?
I mean, you could roll an investigation, but you would have to clarify to me if you were touching the water or not. Because to test the substance, you would need to interact with the substance in some way. Or use magic that could give you information if you have it.
I can use detect magic.
Are you casting it, or are you doing it as are you saying that, or have you cast a spell, or are you proposing a spell?
I'm proposing this spell.
I just need to know.
Yeah. What about before we check the middle well? We know the one well is just sand on the bottom. Who is the
It's
lightest
mud and
person?
sand.
Can I
But what if
ask
we use?
what?
Do we have enough rope that we could tie to the lightest person, whoever that may be? I feel like we have enough strength to lower a person down without them necessarily touching the sand, and then to retrieve the item and pull them back up.
Okay.
I love that it
before
sounds
you
like
do
you're
that,
volunteering a
do
person
that,
against their will to go into
Brontes,
a well.
were you
Well, do
asking
you
a
want
question?
to put me down the well? Because I'm heavy.
I'll go.
Hold on, ask your question
Brontes.
first, Brontes.
What would be the time? What's the time to ritual cast detect magic?
1 second.
We just said it. I want to say it's a minute.
I forget.
It's a minute,
Yeah.
I believe. It's a minute or 10 minutes.
I will say because I'm just gonna say it's a minute and then we'll do that.
It says concentration up to 10 minutes.
Yeah. I think the spell lasts 10 minutes. Because you set it and forget it for 10 minutes, you get to walk around with it.
Would the party like me to ritual cast detect magic?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be down for that while we anybody want to try the rope plan? Calyx pulls out like 40 feet of rope. Like I do have some rope left.
I feel like that might be a good idea.
Okay, then I will say while you guys are setting up the rope and like tying your knots and looking at each other's weights, Brontes, would you like to describe the intricate way because this is a ritual, right? You're not just snapping your fingers and casting magic. Would you like to describe how your character ritually casts a spell like this?
Also, it does take 10 minutes. I looked it up.
Okay, that 10 minutes then.
I'm gonna
But
say
we'll
he
say it takes
sits
some time.
cross-legged on the floor with his grimoire and begins to focus. And his grimoire begins to levitate above his lap.
And then as he does that, you can now discuss the rope plan.
So, Calyx, if you have the rope, do you want to come over here and let's tie it around Cole? Probably almost like a harness. We probably want to go around his waist and then above his shoulders, like a 3-point harness almost, so that we can lower him down. And Cole, you'll have to just keep your legs up.
Quick question. How deep was the well? Was it 10, 15, or 20 feet?
Each well is 5-foot diameter and 10-foot depth.
Oh, we'll be fine.
That you can see.
Okay,
Cole,
so
you cool with going down there?
If you guys hold me and you trust the rope, I'm good for it.
I
everyone on this rope.
I look directly at Onyx and I hold out my arm like, bro, we got this, right? We're the 2 strongest people here. We can do this.
Onyx will hesitantly take Calyx's hand, and I'm going to say, you better not drop my brother.
Hey, you're also holding him. If he falls, it's on both of us.
Fair
But
enough.
we won't.
Sai, Ataraxia, can you come over here? It might be helpful to have more hands than less on this.
Cole seems a little confident, lacking now.
Felix and Onyx will be at the front. Ataraxia and Sire at the back for
Okay,
support.
so important question. Are you going to start doing the wells now and then, or are you waiting for Brontes to finish his ritual?
I think
We're
we should
waiting
wait
for
for
Brontes to
Brontes.
finish.
Brontes to finish
It's gonna
while
take
we
us, like,
get
10 minutes.
all tied up.
Okay, then I will say then
Okay,
we will
not
say
wrong.
we will say that those happen at about the same time. I will just say one person. You may make a survival check. That is going to be how adept you are at tying knots, like confident knots in to hold his weight in case you need to jam. So one person, you can decide who will now can roll a survival check.
Theoretically speaking, who's the best at tying knots, guys?
I feel
Any
like
Boy Scouts?
Theoretically.
I think I'm
I
looking
would be.
right now.
Like if you had to say on a scale of 1 to +1 to +10,
I know
how
I
good are you at
shouldn't
tying
because
knots?
I'm in the middle of something.
Yeah, you would have to interrupt your ritual to do it. So yeah, you cannot do it without breaking your ritual.
I feel like my character could be pretty good at tying knots. I just don't know.
Druids are pretty good at survival. It's
Check
a
your
known thing.
proficiencies.
Hey, God.
It's wisdom based. Yeah,
God.
yeah. God's here. What do you need?
Oh, wait, never mind. I'm
Wisdom
just
based,
an
I'd
idiot.
say I have a pretty good chance at tying a pretty good knot.
Okay, well, I trust the
What do we have
druids,
to roll?
so
Survival.
What do we have?
Survival. What do I?
Yeah, probably not my
You know,
best shot.
Wait, I don't even know
Don-
where do I see that?
So on the left side of
I'm-
your character sheet, there's skills, and then you have things that are bubbled in. If it's bubbled, that means you're proficient.
Oh, I have a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm also pretty good at tying knots. On a scale of like 120, I'd say I'm about like a +4, roughly.
Ditto.
Cole's about to
then
say
you
you
got-
wanted to himself.
Like a 1.
Just know I have a
think you got
3
this.
if I
I'm
wasn't
like,
in a ritual.
yeah,
I'm like getting good
don't trust
and
me.
getting ready.
Don't trust me to tie that knot because
I'll give it a
He's
shot.
not
I'll try.
making
I'll
it back
try.
up.
I'll tie the knot. I
You,
guess.
you can
a
go.
little
You can go
bit.
ahead and roll survival.
All right.
Cole is slightly.
18. Okay, so as you're finishing up tying the knot, you're like, you look at it and you're like, I've tied a very, very good knot. This is a very, I've spent a lot of time in the woods. I've tied a lot of rope in my day. This is solid. As you finish up that, Brontes, your ritual completes. Several things simultaneously blast you in the brain. So the radius on detect magic, I think is, what is it, like 30 feet? Oh, it's 15-foot radius. So you have 30 feet diameter around you, which is
Jesus Christ.
every single well and also 3 of your party members. So instantly you go from not knowing anything about these wells or the people around you. Several things automatically register themselves in your brain at the same time. I will say them in order. The well that you are closest to, the little sapphire piece in the bottom of that well, the gemstone and the well with water, radiates very, very strong abjuration magic, matching the statue in the center room. The big statue that was before you activated either orbs. It was glowing slightly, and then that glow is the same as the big blue wall. It's the same type of enchantment. The same can be said for the other 2 wells as well. Each of those pieces in each of those wells are emitting the exact same frequency of abjuration magic.
Okay.
Those are magical items individually that are on the same magical wavelength. You assume they were enchanted either together or they were once the one item split into 3 pieces. Additionally, the person to your 10 foot to your south, the blue tiefling woman, blinds you. She is innately magical. You can't not see it. Every inch of her body glows slightly with no particular school of magic. She just exists as magic. You would know from your studies that this would mean she is a sorcerer. She was born or has acquired an innate magical element that you cannot ignore. But you don't learn any particulars. You just know that she is magical. The person to your right, Ataraxia, is also magical, but not in the same way. She has an essence of magic that you wouldn't have seen before with your backstory, at least more than likely. But you can tell that there is an element of magic within herself as well, but it has been gained over time through experience and age. The other person, Onyx, is also magical, but even being a tiefling, he is not innately magical. You notice that his weapon is magical. It does not give off a particular school. It exists as innately magical, like the hilt of his weapon. That you learn all of that instantaneously, and like the second you finish the spell, all at once. So feel free to roleplay that. You want to roleplay an aneurysm? I think that's about what it would be.
That's about what's happening in my brain right now.
Yeah, I hope you remembered all that. I'm not going to say it
Process the
again.
information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I clarify something though? God.
I think I was trying to not specifically say it because your stuff.
There's
so
a big difference.
I know.
Yeah.
I specifically. This is a first level spell, so it's not super
let God
specific.
do God things.
God has
God knows what God is
God
doing.
has read all of your backstories like 4 times. God knows what he's saying.
Well, God wanted it on a Word document, and that's not what he got.
Well, yeah, it's in my notes thing. I have to keep opening my phone to read it.
God also wrote one of them.
True.
That we changed.
So one of you was an
Edited.
NPC. Got it.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, Bronte. So you
Just
can.
lazy.
I'm
Just
yeah,
lazy.
I am half joking. It doesn't like create physical ailments or whatever for you, but you know, for having cast a spell before, typically you cast it to try to look at one thing. This is the first time you've gotten like 6 in one shot. So feel free to describe it as you wish.
There's an overload of information in here.
Okay.
What does that
I
mean?
could describe to you what real life Bronte's face looks like, and I think that would be a pretty good description.
Okay. All we need to know is that if there is
Regarding
magic
the items,
Yes.
the items we've seen in the bottoms of each of these wells, they are all emitting the same source of magic as the statue in the main room, suggesting that they were either they're intertwined with some form of magic.
Okay. Well, then if if any of you recall what was said on the statue plaque, there were 2 trials of mind and might, and I'm
This is
assuming
probably the one of mind.
Yeah.
I'm assuming so, considering we already took care of Might.
Wow.
Mhm.
Captain Obvious over here.
I was just reiterating Ataraxia's point, okay? No need to come at me like that.
Easy. Calm down, Clanker. We'll figure this out. Don't need to get your horns in a twist.
They're beautiful horns.
No one talks about his horns but me.
I didn't say that they were ugly horns. I just said not to get your horns in a twist.
There's a lot of porn talk going on. Are we pushing Cole into the well or not?
Okay, so guys, what happened last time is as soon as Cole opened the chest, that's when the trial started.
Yeah.
So I think as soon I'm going to assume that I think since you guys already burned the acid stuff,
I'm more
that it
so
didn't start the
wondering,
trial. I'm going to assume it's as soon as we touch one of those blue objects.
Interesting.
So I think as soon as we I think the best bet is to send Cole down first, since this looks like in my opinion, safest option to send him down.
what if we try casting magic on the items?
Like,
Do you
trying.
have anything that can make them
Yeah.
Just
up here?
targeting them with a spell.
I don't think we want to break them.
I don't think
Can
we
we-
want to break them.
Okay, that's fair.
With how powerful that first one felt, I don't know if any of our magic would be able to break it.
I mean, if we want, we could throw like a rock or a pebble. or
However,
something at
I
it.
don't recommend trying to break something in a trial because we might set off some countermeasures. So I would prefer
That's why I
not.
think we just lower Cole down. Because as soon as he touches it, one of the other wells might close up or something.
Why?
I turn to
okay.
Cole and I'm like, Cole, thank you for your sacrifice.
It's been an honor.
He gets it. Okay, let's do this.
Okay. I am very confident that Cole's not going to die. Otherwise, I would not be sending him down there because I love him.
I mean, if this is the way he goes,
It's been an honor.
it was
Okay.
nice getting to
All
know
right, guys,
you.
let's do this already.
Okay, so
Do it.
Cole, get in front of the well. Calyx, you're coming over here with me. You're helping me pull from the front. Ataraxian side, come to the back of the rope. Brontes is done casting now too, right?
Yes, he is now. His spell will maintain for about 10 minutes, but he is done with his ritual.
Brontes can help too. I'd rather have all hands on deck to help pull.
Okay. Mechanically, by the way, you can only ever get one advantage. So even if all four of you are holding the rope, it's still going to be 2 people rolling or 1 person rolling twice. Just saying.
Well, a quick question: does this count as like a pull action technically, or no? Rather than an
it's more of a maintain because you're slowly lowering him down as opposed to pulling. I was gonna, if hypothetically, if something were to happen that you would want to pull him out as a response, it would be a pulling action. I am just going to say that it is going to be a general athletics check to hold him and slowly hold the rope and lower him down without. I assume you're trying not to touch the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to say it's going to be either athletics from Onyx, or you and Onyx can both roll, and then we'll take the highest, either or, depending on modifiers. If you guys want to play the numbers.
Because God, I do have like the powerful build part of my class. Are you familiar with that or no?
If you can click it. I think it says what it says, like for carrying capacity, right?
It's here. I just did it.
Oh, and the weight you can push, drag, or lift. Oh, I guess this would count as lifting, huh?
That's why I'm like, because like I could lift him no problem as a person. Is kind of what I'm getting at here.
Let's see, power. What does it say? It says 15 times strength, 2 times. I will say then, because this is like a.
So my maximum capacity is 540 pounds that I can move without issue.
I will say, because he's not like dead weight, he's not like a 200-pound block that isn't moving. He's animated. He's going to try to like move and touch the walls, and he's going to move his center of gravity to try to reach down and grab it. I'll say you get the advantage of teamwork, and then you get a flat +5 after your modifier. So whatever your athletics modifier is, once you've added that, then just add 5 to it, and then we'll count that as your powerful build, because I didn't think of that.
So do both Calyx and I need to roll?
You can choose to if you'd like, or you could let Calyx roll twice and take the highest.
Let Calyx roll twice.
Calyx roll twice, please.
Okay, you got it. I'm still learning the menu for Roll20, so give me like a hot second.
Yep.
Okay, so those are my abilities. I don't want that.
Does it matter if Calyx is or Onyx is in the front of the rope?
No, because you all said that's 50 foot of rope, and there's only 10 foot deep well, so you can pretty much all reliably hold the rope just in case. So you're kind of grouped up. It really doesn't matter. I'm not gonna.
So I should roll this twice, right?
Yes. Yeah. Just click athletic twice, or if it gives you like an advantage toggle, just click advantage.
No, so that would be 19.
Yep. And then you can click it again.
Yep.
22. So 27.
Or 22. I'll take the 27. Yeah. Sir.
So, you want to go with the 27? Okay.
Damn. Yeah, I do. Personally, I want.
Unfortunately, the DC was 30. Unfortunately, the DC was 30. Cold dies instantly. Anyway, so you guys all very carefully hold the rope, and then you watch as Calyx with one arm just like slowly starts fireman feeding out the rope and has it like wrapped around his like elbow and forearm, and he's essentially like doing curls with 10 foot of rope at a time and just lowering Cole down, and you guys are all holding a slack rope. Like he's got it. You're there for moral support. This is the guy. Calyx. This is the dude who accidentally broke out of those shackles, and you're like, yeah, that about tracks.
And he left all of us
Okay,
there.
so we clearly didn't need to be here.
Yeah.
What was the point of this?
Important thing what this leads to, Cole. What you see is blackness because they sent down the one person without dark vision. So you're now in this black hole.
Thinking about that, and
you can see nothing.
He's a minor.
You can see literally nothing. You were about 10-ish, call it 9 feet, because you're not touching the ground, inside a deep, dark stone well. It's vaguely wet in here, and you can't even see your hand in front of your face.
But can we see the gluing object?
The blue glowing
the
object.
Thingy that shines. I thought it
we
shines.
can see it from the top. Can't we see that?
When I say blue glowing, that's because most of the people in this party have some sort of magical ability that's innate, that they could see magic or feel magic, like your wizard or your sorcerer. Cole does not have that either. So he's just a
Can I
guy.
go to the edge of the well and look down and see if I can kind of guide him with my night vision or dark vision?
I mean, yeah, you could attempt to. We'll call it. You're gonna try to like instruct him. I'll say your ability to communicate directions. So I'll call it roll persuasion.
Wait,
Oh, it's a good one, bro.
never mind. I won't.
To try to give good directions.
Cole's gonna die.
Is he just singing that on the way down?
I believe it.
And it's echoing up off the walls, and so it's coming up at the top, and we can hear him singing. Call.
Damn, this
Gonna
mic is
die.
so freaking sensitive. She just
rolled
rolled a
a
nat
20.
20. No,
Wow.
no modifier.
The best part too,
Because
is she
Mike
didn't even
was
she
like-
just 5% chance. So Ataraxia is ulting, and her secret calling has always been giving really specific directions to a guy 9 feet in a well. It's like what she was born for. It's actually in her backstory, believe it or not. But
Got a teammate.
yeah, so Cole, you're like, wow, I can't believe we thought this was a good idea. I literally can't see anything, and I can't feel the magic of the item. I just know that I'm in a well. And then Ataraxia's like, oh yeah, I could totally see. And then you listen as she gives exact, perfect instructions on where to place your hands and to not touch the ground but touch the item within like a centimeter. She's like, move your hand 4 inches to the right and you'll come up on this slightly protruding stone so that you could bend down with your left hand. It's perfect instructions. You have no fear in any way, and you feel on your left hand as you follow her instructions exactly, you feel a piece of metal in your hands. Do you pick it up out of the ground?
I'm gonna try to pick it up out of the well so we can bring it up.
Make a strength check to try to. You're beating the suction. It's like suctioned into the mud and sand, like swamp
If
mud.
he rolls the 3.
Wait. Strength. Oh, I think it's at the top, Nick.
Yeah. It's
Oh no. Oh no.
Here goes a -1.
That's a save. But I'll just take the
What?
roll.
Wait,
You said-
what are we supposed to roll that?
Strength check.
Athletics or
Athletics?
yeah.
Athletics has a better roll then.
Well, I'll just take
athletic.
well, you rolled a 11. I'll just. What's your modifier? I'll just add it to the 11.
1.
So
Well,
it's
no.
plus 1.
For athletics is a 1.
Yeah. So
Right,
it's a
you
12.
rolled an 11.
So it's a
You
12.
rolled a
Okay.
12.
Yeah, because your save is at -1, but I think you're proficient in athletics, so you get the +2, which overrides your -1, so it makes it +1. So yeah, so you, with a little bit of effort, you're like, oh, this is kind of stuck. It's not a heavy piece of metal. It's just kind of really. You could tell it's been sitting in this mud for
It's in
a
there.
while. It's sitting in there. It's got that like perfect suction of like when you get your boot stuck in the muck and you're fighting your whole body weight to, but you don't want to like. Your biggest issue is you don't want to throw your weight to one side, because if you let go of the rope or you touch the ground, then that defeats the whole purpose. So you're kind of like trying to also not make Calyx drop the rope. You're juggling a lot of things in your head. So you're like, but I think I could do it, and you kind of wiggle it a little and you pop it out and there's like a suction sound and you're holding it in your hand.
Okay.
Guys, I think I got it.
all right,
Pull me up.
I'm gonna
You got
start
it.
like pulling them up.
Okay.
Then.
With a 27, I'm not going to make you roll again. You just grab the rope and throw it in the air, and he flies 10 feet out and lands on his feet. Like easy all day, light work.
I hold up a light sign that goes like +10 for the landing.
Yeah.
Nice.
+10 for the landing, he says.
So
Did we inspect this object, guys?
Yeah. So what you see
Now that
now
we're closer
that
to
you
it?
could see Cole out of the well, he is holding in his hand. He is holding the sapphire-colored metallic shaft-shaped structure. It's about, I'd say, a foot, maybe 16 inches long, about half an inch thick, and it's perfectly cylindrical and cold to the touch.
Okay. Well, 1 down, 2 more to go, I guess.
Okay, so are we just gonna use the same strat as before?
Well, we're not
Who's
setting the
holding
pole down again.
Well, so here's the other problem. This other well next to me has water to the top.
Yep.
Exactly.
So-
Somebody's gonna have to swim, or
I think someone just needs to drink a lot of water.
Right.
Alex, you look
Totally,
like a big
that's such
guy.
a-
Did you work up a sweat?
not yet. Wait.
Do we
real
know
quick,
100%
Wait, can he even
sure that
fit?
it's water?
Real
Yeah,
quick,
Alex,
can I
you
like
even-
take a
I
ration
dunked my
and like
hand
dip
in
it
it.
in the water? No, do not dunk your hand. I
Whoa,
stopped.
hold on. two people, and I'm going to be fair about this, two people at the same time just said they were doing an action. I need to know which person did it first. It matters. So
I
going
said
to
that
say,
I was
Who
going to
said it
dunk the
first?
ration
so
in the water.
on my
and then
end,
Sai
on
said-
my end, you both said it at exactly the same time. So I am going to be that guy, and I'm going to say you do those actions simultaneously. Okay.
It's not
Okay,
water.
what do I roll?
Okay.
Shove her hand into the water.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best to stop them.
You were already
grabbed me
taking,
by the
I would
back
say,
of the
you said you were already taking out a ration. So I'm going to assume that you're like looking in your pack. You wouldn't see her because it's simultaneous.
Yeah, Sai
how
is
I'm
staring
gonna
at the
rule it.
water, and the impulsive thought just
Yeah.
pops into her head, and
So
she just
what I need, I will
goes
say
for it.
that. Okay, well we'll do it this way. I will let you roll Sai and Calyx. You can both roll. You can both roll initiative.
Oh God, no!
Oh no!
So depending on initiative,
Yeah.
whoever has the higher initiative roll, that even though the actions are simultaneous, that one happens first. Okay, she rolled 1 point higher than you, so she is going to reach her hand into the water.
I think that's at the top.
Here's what's gonna happen.
Oh no!
Everyone, presumably everyone watches because you're not just sitting there with your eyes closed. Sai, and that those impulsive thoughts kind of worm they're here. Like, is it water? You're like, it's just water. I'll just reach into it, and you reach your hand into it. You instantly hurt your hand because as soon as you touch the water, like you're just going to plunge your hand in as though you're reaching into water. Your hand bounces off the top of the water like you just went to reach through a concrete block. And you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you almost you bend your fingers backwards. Like you got jammed by a basketball that was thrown at you. Like it's hard. It doesn't ripple. It doesn't flex. Your hand isn't even wet. It's like you attempted to literally reach through a sheetrock wall to grab something and you didn't know the sheetrock wall was there. You just slam your hand into a solid object. It doesn't even make
It's like
sense.
Oobleck.
Ice?
Shoot! Oh my god!
It's like what?
It's like Oobleck.
I don't
Wait.
think anyone is going to be swimming in this.
Is
It-
it gelatinous or is it ice?
Oh,
It was like
yeah.
I tried to touch it, and it didn't. It really didn't want me to touch it, and so it punched me back.
It didn't even react. Like, you know how like with
Yes.
Oobleck you can like if you slowly reach in and it's like it'll move. The water didn't even like because the water is to the brim, right? It's to the tippy top. Any disturbance would cause a little bit to spill. Her trying
Can
to
I
reach her
cast
whole
Firebolt on
her.
it?
No.
Hold on.
Standing right
Hold on.
in front.
I was describing. So
Cutscene.
when she goes to touch it, the water itself does not move in any capacity. It's almost like she didn't make contact with it. You could visibly see she clearly touched it, but the water just treated it like she didn't.
Can I gently touch it? Like place my hand on top of it to see if
You touch it.
what
Yeah.
happens?
So you gently,
Not like
yeah,
punch it
Yeah.
like side.
you gently reach your hand.
I didn't punch
You
it.
gently reach your hand and you slowly place it on top of the water. And it is as though you are resting your hand on a table. It is 100% like a mahogany table. It's 100% solid. Your hand isn't even wet. It's like the water is stone. It's clearly
Is it
water.
cold?
You're looking at it, but it does not feel like water and it does not behave like water.
But it's
Is it
not
cold?
ice. Is it? Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
It
Is
is
it
not
cold?
cold. No,
Is it ice?
it's the same temperature as the walls and the floor and the well itself. It's the same ambient temperature of everything else.
It glass that just looks like water.
It looks like it looks like there'd be no space for glass to be because the water is all the way to the tippy top. If you would like to do something to test if it's glass, like if you want to hit it with something metallic or sharp to see if you could chip it to see if maybe it's
Wait.
glass, you can.
Before we do that, guys, why don't we bring over the rock that Cole got and see if maybe there's any type of reaction with the thing at the bottom? Maybe it'll work like a magnet or something.
There's an idea.
I would like
God.
to hand it off to somebody a little stronger than me.
Yeah,
I'll take-
second
I'll
that.
take.
I,
I'll take it from
The
it.
chest kind of hurt me last hour ago.
I will take it from Cole.
Do we have just asking anybody? Do we have
Yeah.
like a bucket or anything if we want to use the acid to maybe get through this after that?
I was thinking
Well, let's see if
that
it's magnetic-y.
Let's see if
Okay.
it's
feel like it
magnetic.
would
Do
just
that
go
first.
through a bucket since it went through the hook.
True. Very true.
Okay. So I maintain my grip on on the rocky thing,
On the rocky
and I
thing?
hold it. The thing that Cole had.
The metallic
There's
shaft.
a rod.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
rod.
So your hands are firmly wrapped around the metallic shaft. Continue.
And yep, I have my hands firmly around the shaft,
From Cole.
and I hold it over the well.
The well full of
Any
the
reaction.
well full of water or the well full of acid.
Water. The
Okay.
well full of water.
Okay, you
I don't trust
watch as the metallic object flashes extremely brightly very quickly, and the metallic object at the bottom of the well flashes a millisecond after, and then nothing happens. Like they flashed, and you don't notice a difference, but they're very clearly
Okay.
reacted in some way.
So that's something, guys.
It
I don't know
answered
what
my
it means, but it's something.
Do I detect anything with detect magic?
With
from
detect
that?
magic, yes, you do, and you detect that the two metallic objects resonated, and but as though the magic tried to draw a line between object 1 and object 2, like the object in the well and the object in Onyx's hands, and as a result of that magic, the water is now vaguely magical, and the magic would be transmutation.
Wait,
Wait, what?
Can I share that information with the party?
Oh yeah, sure.
Those flashes definitely did something. I'm sensing slight traces of magic from the water now.
can you?
What kind of magic?
I don't remember what I said.
Transmutation.
Transmutation.
Transmutation, yeah.
What? Okay, fair enough.
Now, let's say someone was a little stupid. Can you explain what transmutation magic means?
The magic
Just in case
people,
God didn't know.
the magic people in the party would know, so I'll explain to them, and we could just say they explain it to you. Transmutation is the school of magic that specializes in the alteration of a substance or substances from one point to another point. So either a transformation in a state of matter, a transformation in a state of element, so turning lead to gold, turning ice to liquid, turning air to a solid. That's all transmutation.
Can I attempt to touch the water then?
You can. You reach over and you reach your hand into the water, and now your hand's all wet and cold.
So now we can swim through it.
Yeah,
But is this time?
He reached down to his elbow, and then that's when he ran out of room, and he pulls it out, and his hand is covered in water, and the water splashes everywhere, and it like spills over the sides, and it's all it makes a mess.
So it looks like it turned into water, guys.
But
Seems to
only
be
with
so.
the other piece of the stone.
Okay.
So maybe we should get the last piece before someone swims down there and figures out they can only go halfway down.
Yeah.
Or
so what,
find out that it seals them in once they go under.
True. That'd be bad.
so what if we go over to the acid well? We try the same thing. I hold the shaft over the well again, and see if it does anything to the suspected acid.
Do it.
Okay.
Dun, dun,
So
dun.
you're walking over to the acid well, and from the top of the well, you're just holding it over the lip of the well.
Right.
Are
See
you
if there's a reaction.
reaching down into the well, or you're doing like with the water?
No,
and
I'm
you're waving
holding it
over?
strictly over the top.
Nothing happens.
I'm not reaching in. Nothing
Okay,
happens.
so we're gonna have to grab this one first before we can get the acid one, I think.
Or that acid one's just a decoy.
Oh, like the
What?
piece in the bottom of this, does it look like it would go on top of the rod? Like it would connect with it?
Are you asking God?
I'm asking God.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to figure it out in my head, I guess.
Based on the information Brontes gave you, it would seem like all three of these sapphire objects were once one object based on the way they were enchanted. So you assume that they
Yeah.
either mechanically or magically fit together in some way or correlate to each other in some way.
Okay.
Cole, how do you feel about going into a pit of acid?
The
Well-
acid, I'm going to say, is a hard no at the moment.
Hard
I
no.
think we should tackle the water one first because it actually
I agree,
reacted
but
to
it
it.
was worth
I would
it was
agree
worth a
with
try
that.
to see if anything happened.
So I
Of
have a
course.
suggestion.
I can't disagree with you there.
Why don't we try? So, Calix, you still have that rope, correct?
All 40 feet.
So why don't we see if you could just drop the rope down and make sure the water, is water all the way through.
Oh, shoot, no worries.
We would need
Does
an
anybody have
anchor
a
point
rock
to-
or something heavy?
Wait,
yeah.
I think one of us has like some ball bearings. Would that work as an anchor weight, like we're fishing?
No, they're like small.
Yeah, but so is a fishing weight.
Oh, you got me there.
The rope you have is hempen rope, so it's like pretty thick. You think it would be hard to wrap the rope around ball bearings? You could probably, unless you had
I
like
was
a
gonna
bucket.
say,
Is there like any
a
rocks
hammer
or
or a
Would
crowbar.
say tie it around the rod, but I feel like we wouldn't want
Oh
to
wait,
risk
quick
that.
question. Can I run back to the metal chest and grab some metal slag and
Absolutely.
use that? Let's do that.
Through the power of movie magic, you do that. Do-do-do-do-do.
It's done.
Okay.
It happened.
You're now
You have
holding
the leg
you're
now.
now holding an armful of blackened, warped metal slag of various pieces and sizes.
Okay, then I'm going to like tie it around the. I'm gonna hand it over to Ataraxia so she can tie it around and get a nice good knot around it, and then we're gonna drop it down to see if it drops.
Okay, roll a survival check. Ataraxia.
Hold on a sec, I gotta open it up. I'm working on it.
Ataraxia, my hero.
I have to keep. I'm trying to close my character sheet so I don't keep blocking Alex's view of the map.
Yeah.
So we found a way to do it. We can send a thing in the group chat.
There's a way to minimize it really well into your bottom left, and you can keep it up and then just quickly open it up wider when you need to.
Okay, survival of 14. You don't feel as confident compared to the first knot you did, but given that it's like lower stakes and the metal isn't really moving around, it's not a living thing, you're pretty confident so long as nobody does anything dumb like jerk it around, it'll probably hold.
Cool. And we're gonna drop it in and kind of let it sink to the bottom, or as far as it can go.
So you hang the metal that was the first trial over the thing and then you just drop it.
Yeah, to see if it sinks and like hits a wall or anything like that, or the rope
So
gets cut.
you watch as it hits the water and it plummets like a stone. It goes straight to the bottom and it lands on top of the sapphire gem, and you can no longer see the sapphire gem.
Okay, so then my concern is like if we remove the sapphire gem, if it's gonna lock it in, like Onyx said. So I reached all the way to the bottom, and I'm just gonna gently pull the metal slag all the way back up at this point.
You pull it up with the rope.
Yeah.
Okay. Brontes. At this point, it's all this like discussion and rope tying and all that stuff. It's been about 5 minutes. You're watching as the Calyx is pulling the rope up, and as soon as he gets the metal out, your like mental alarm in your head about your spell lets you know that the water has changed, and it has been about 120 seconds since you waved the wand over it, and the magical effect is gone from the water. About a second or two after he pulls the metal out.
Okay. That doesn't feel right.
So
What
it's
doesn't
back
feel
to
right?
solid now.
I feel like the water changed again.
So I'm gonna gently like touch the top of the water. Is it solid again?
Rock solid.
I
Cool.
think we might have to use the other item to go down through it
What if-
to make sure that it doesn't change back.
So someone would have to swim down
Whoever
while
goes
holding
down
the
has
staff.
to hold the staff.
Wait. If it's a metallic staff, why don't we just tie it to the rope and see if it's a magnet again?
You want to risk
Maybe when they
losing?
touch each other, they'll connect.
It's
My concern is that like if we do that and it gets stuck down there and then it turns solid again, we're never gonna be able to get back to it.
Yeah,
I
but that's
think
the
it'd
same
be
problem if
safer.
someone swims down there with it. We might lose a person versus a rod.
I feel
Yeah,
like if
but
we just
But then we might end up starving to death down here and not getting past that blue wall.
At least if you send a person down
I
with
see at
it,
least
they can
4
chuck
people
the
this
staff.
All right, I guess we're going to cannibalism already. You want to go swim down there? Offer yourself up first? Didn't
I
think
would
so.
swim down there, but I need somebody to pull me back in case things go awry.
I'm not the cannibal.
Will you? I don't think you'll fit.
I don't think I'll
I mean
fit.
that's a fair argument.
I'm 6 foot.
Cole's concern is if a knot doesn't hold and I run out of time, Cole's dead.
Does anybody have like a spell to help them like breathe
Water
underwater?
breathing? Well, that doesn't help either if I run out of time.
Not at
No,
this
I wouldn't
level.
do that.
Says
Would
God.
mage armor
Not
apply
at
to
this-
this at all?
I believe mage armor just creates like a magical shield around you that makes you harder to hit with weapons.
it's just
I don't
armor.
think it
Yeah, it's
lets you
just
breathe
armor.
underwater. Water
It's just
breathing is a
armor.
spell. I just don't think any of you are at a level that you could have taken it.
I think
Nope.
it's like second or third level, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like it's pretty up there
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah. If only any of
Also,
you
I
played
just want to be
a
clear
warlock,
that it's
you could
been
just have
almost
it.
an hour and we still haven't gotten the second object.
I didn't want to bring it up.
What was that, God? What did you just say, God?
Just nothing.
God.
God.
Just play the game.
Look, I'm willing to go down there and take the risk.
You're not going to be fast enough because you're going to
I
get
mean,
stuck. So one of us who's smaller is
Time-wise,
going to
it's
have to
about
go.
2 minutes per change.
I'll go again if somebody ties
No.
me.
Right, Brontes, you said that it was about 2 minutes per change, and
Going
Like-
based off the time range of the spell, it was about 2 minutes from shift to shift.
Wait,
Okay.
guys, we don't
120
necessarily need to worry
seconds.
so much about the rope. The rope is only a precaution this time. The person going in can swim. It's going to be
Yeah.
cold based on the description before. It'll be like ice water.
So I guess someone should go down that can see actually rather than me because I won't be able
That
to
would be
communicate if I'm
preferable.
underwater.
I can do it, I
You need a
guess.
fast swimmer, though.
Sai, can you swim?
How would one know?
I can swim, but
They are a fast swimmer.
I mean, I
That would be an
lived
athletics
at a
check.
port city.
And you can see under the water in the dark?
Yeah.
So you're volunteering as tribute?
I really don't want to.
Kaylee
Yes.
kind of puts a comforting hand around and goes, "We won't let you go. It's okay. Just hold on to the
You got
rope."
it. You can trust us. We're not going to let you go.
Tie me up then.
Okay, Ty.
Okay.
Fair enough.
That should make us another survival
yeah.
check
I was gonna
then.
say, I assume you're having Ataraxia tie her up.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
and we'll do it. Can I give Ataraxia advantage on this by
Yeah,
helping
you
out?
can can take the help action, and then so Ataraxia you could roll twice and take the highest.
Okay.
I don't think we're playing Dungeons and Dragons anymore.
Hey-oh.
Well,
22.
All right.
Thank you.
Easily, I'm rolling past that. Easily, the one of
Sorry.
the best knots you've ever tied. Like this is, everyone around you can see this knot
Mint.
is solid. It's mint. This rope is not cut. Even if Sai struggled, like something happened
It'll
underwater or she panicked, it would be difficult for even her to untie it because she isn't you. Like it's locked in. You're very confident in your work.
You're safe.
Okay.
You got this.
Sai
I would
climbs
say-
up.
I would say Onyx and Calyx should get next to the rope to pull her up if needed.
Oh,
Agreed.
100%. I haven't like
Don't pull too fast
we
because
should
you could
probably
end up getting me.
initiate the spell thing first.
I would say,
Okay,
guys,
so,
holding the
Sai-
rope, just keep the slack.
When
Let Sai
we're
do all the
ready.
work.
Yes. I agree.
Yep.
Sai climbs up
So,
onto
if I'm-
the top of the well. First.
So you're standing on the lip of the well.
Yes.
Wait,
Okay.
hold on. Someone needs to take the rod from me.
I will
I'll take
take the staff and I'll wave it over.
God, I was hoping you
I'm
forget
not
about
letting
that.
go of the rope.
I was hoping she would dive and you guys forgot to wave.
I didn't get a concussion.
Bonk.
I did try to say
Scrooge
something.
McDuck.
Yeah.
All right, is everybody ready?
Okay. So I assume that you're timing waving the rod with her going in to give the maximum amount of time. Does
I
that sound
would
correct?
say
Yes.
we do it a second before, honestly.
Okay. And then since
sure she
since
goes
she
through.
is since she is going into a liquid, a strength check is not required unless you attempt to pull her out because she could just swim down under her own power.
Right,
She's
we're
not
just there for an
falling.
emergency.
So it's
What?
it's all up to Sai. What do you do?
What check do I make when I go?
It's
Like a
just
swim?
it's just swimming 10 feet. You swim your whole life. You live in
Oh.
a port city. You can just swim. Just tell me you're swimming down 10 feet.
Okay, I swim down. After he does the thing,
I will wave the wand now if you're ready to go.
I'm ready as
All
I'll
right.
ever be.
I'm holding
Okay.
the staff
Now,
above the well.
are you
On
are
the count of three.
yeah? Important question. Are you jumping in or are you lowering yourself in feet first and then like swimming down?
I'm gonna like dive how I usually like. I'm standing as if I'm going to like dive head first down.
Okay.
Why?
I just need to know your position because you're in a narrow well. If you go down head first, you're gonna have to turn around. But if you go down feet first and then just float up, it's different. Because
Yeah,
like
but
it's 5-foot well.
Yeah, but isn't Sky very small?
Or you go down and have them pull you up.
I guess she is really. You're what, like 5'2"?
I'm 5 foot.
Oh.
Yeah, she could turn around.
You know what? You're
You're
small. Yeah, I was gonna say
well.
you're smaller. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter. So you're going in the well and you go down.
Yes.
You swim down and you place your hand on the with the middle well. So it's the sapphire gemstone.
Yep.
So you grab it.
Okay.
When you grab it, nothing
Oh no.
intrinsic,
scared.
like nothing visual happens. No one noticed.
Okay.
There's no flash of light. You don't get trapped under an invisible barrier. You don't start drowning. Because you're the one who touches it, you just have this feeling. You really like this gemstone, like holding it in your hand and the way it makes you feel, and you kind of don't want anyone else to have it.
Oh no.
And that's all. And then you can swim up if you'd like to.
Okay, I swim back up.
Okay. You all watch as she swims up. She's holding the gemstone. Do you pull yourself out? Does anyone pull her out of the well? Because it's a raised well, so she's got to like heft.
Yeah,
She's soaking
I'll
wet now.
help
She's
out.
a lot heavier. All her clothes
Yeah,
are soaked.
we'll pull her
help
out.
Okay, so they all pull. All these people.
Alex will each take an arm.
Yeah, she's very light, even though she's a little waterlogged. And so, because and you pull out and you pull up, you stand her up, and she's holding the stem thing. I got it, and she's standing.
I shake myself off like a dog. Whoever's standing near me also gets wet because I didn't think to move away to do this. So I just
What
shake.
the heck, man?
I'm just gonna ask, hey, are you okay? Does anything hurt? Was it bad? Like, is she okay?
I mean, it was water. I'm good.
It was water, like you,
It's just
not
water.
acid.
Straight water.
I learned my lesson on the last one. Okay, just water. Okay, cool.
Did you
Alright, so
notice
that's-
anything when you pulled the... Oh, sorry.
Sorry. I was gonna say, Brontes, with your spell that you did you notice anything once she
Detect
brought the other
magic?
piece up?
Bronte, you did not notice. Unlike when you like the action of waving the wand that changes the water, you did not notice any sort of magical change when she touched it or when she got out of the well. It's just that those two magical sources, the one that Cole holds and the one that Sai holds, are now closer to you. But the magical sources themselves have not changed.
Nothing has
Yeah.
changed. No.
What if we touch them together, guys? Will they connect?
Well, you give me the rod.
Why can't we just connect them right here in front of everybody? We can both hold a side.
Well, I'd rather do it while holding it myself.
I would almost rather give it to Calyx or Onyx. They're a little stronger in case something
No.
happens.
I'm not giving anybody this rock.
You don't have
Why?
the rod. You have the gem.
I have the gem. I'm not giving anybody this gem
Why?
because I don't trust anybody with the gem.
Why?
Because God said so. That's why.
Because I like the gem. It's a pretty gem, and I feel like you brutes will break it or drop it. So I am going
I
to
mean,
designate
I'm not a
myself.
What about Ataraxia? She's not a brute.
She's a common middle ground.
Why can't I just
could try.
touch them together myself?
And why can't anybody else?
Because I don't want you to.
I don't trust that right now.
How about you go over to the other well and let's see if it makes a reaction before we either of us give one up.
Okay.
let's do that.
Okay.
So you're walking over to the acid well with the gem
Yes.
and
Yep.
the rod?
Yep.
Okay. Do you wave the gem over the acid well?
Yes.
Are you waving it over the well or are you reaching into the well?
Over the well.
Nothing happens.
Hmm. I
Guys,
really
I
don't
think we're
want
gonna have to
to.
reach in.
Brontes, you're at about 7 to 8 minutes on your spell, by the way. You got about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
Guys, I think we got to reach in the well. If you give me both, I'll reach in with both. If someone holds me, so I don't fall in.
I'm not giving you the gem.
Well, then you reach in.
Okay. Give me the rod.
I'll hold the rod and you hold the gemstone in.
Fine.
So are you both going? Are you going on either side of the well, and you're both going to try to reach in at the same time?
Yep,
Into the
just because the acidy stuff is at like 5 feet down. So if we reach down, we're not sticking our hand into acid.
Yeah, yeah.
correct?
So it's a 10-foot well, half full. So you have about size heights worth of empty space, like bare walls, and then that's where the acid starts, and then it's about 5 more feet, and then at the bottom, resting on a completely stone bottom, there's no mud or muck, is that last piece of the sapphire item.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Sai, on the count of 3, we both reach below the surface, our arm's length, without A, falling in, and B, to see if there's any reaction at all. Correct?
Do we have somebody holding either of us? Just in case?
Calix, I was gonna hold Onyx, but if he falls, I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, I assumed Calix was holding Sai.
Oh,
I would like someone to hold me,
I would
too.
like Calix to hold Onyx.
Oh, okay.
I'll hold Onyx up if everybody else wants to help Sai.
I can help out.
Feels
with Sai.
balanced for some reason.
Okay.
Okay, you count on 3.
Cole,
On 3.
Cole making the bold decision to jump into the second well. There you go.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay.
You both reach in, right? I assume you're both reaching in because you counted down.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is funny. So you
no.
both reach in, and it's only a 5 foot wide well, and Onyx is a big guy, so you try not to bonk heads because you're on opposite sides of the well. You both reach your arms down about arm's length. There's no reaction from the blue thing in the acid, but the 2 items in your hands get close enough that there's an innate magical like shunk, and they both slam together. Both of
So
you,
we
both
knock
of you,
heads anyway.
roll a dexterity save to avoid
God.
dropping them as they are pulled out of your hand.
Oh boy.
Dun dun.
Hey! Oh, no!
Okay,
Damn it,
so
Sai!
the way Onyx is just
Whoops.
inherently stronger, so he just had a really good grip on the sapphire rod, and so it kind of pulled away from him, but his hand moved with it. You weren't expecting, Sai wasn't expecting the pull of the gem, and it flies out of her hand like you walk past a super magnet, and you watch.
Obviously, I didn't want it that badly if
Yeah.
I let go.
You watch as the gem slams into one half of the sapphire shaft, and they glow brightly, and then the glow fades. Onyx, you are holding what is now one thing. Like, there isn't a seam, there isn't a screw or anything. It looks like what was 2 items has now always been 1 item, and you're holding it in your hand. Sai,
Okay.
you feel an immense sense of longing and like absence because the gem is not in your hand.
I kind of just sit on the ground and pout.
Okay. So, guys, I feel like
That sense goes away after about a minute.
I sit there for the full minute and pout.
Okay, so wait. If we do that, then we're out of detect. Oh, man.
You have 1 minute left on detect magic. I've been counting.
Okay, well, if Sai sits down for a full minute, we lose it.
Well, somebody better get me back up then.
Sai
I'm
doesn't
sad.
have the thing anymore. You have it, so you can do whatever
Okay.
you want.
Okay,
does the
so guys, we got close enough within 5 feet that it got it. Part of me wants to lower it carefully down and see if we could just touch the acid's not affecting this blue stuff. What if we hold how big is the rod?
The rod itself is about 12. You don't have a ruler on you, but it's about 12 to 16 inches, and then the gem was like a little less than fist sized, maybe like fist size. So you think if you held on to like the tip of the rod and held it, you'd get like 18 or 19 inches of reach. If you were attempting to reach into the acid.
Once the rod connected with the stone,
Yep.
did that create a reaction with anything else in the well?
Within the well, no. The only thing that would have been visible to the 2 people is the magic fused the 2 items together with like a little flash. But that magic wasn't different. Like the detect magic on Bronthes didn't ping a different effect. It's like that is part of the enchantment that was already on the 3 items, which was that they were once 1 item, and it's to go back to 1 item. And you have taken 2 of those items, and they are now returned to a state of being 1, and there is apparently a 3rd.
Okay, so what if
real
we-
quick?
Bronte
Sorry.
City.
Felix.
Real quick, I'm just gonna pull out my water skin and pour a little bit of water into the well to see if it's still acid, see if it sizzles at all. Just testing to see if like the staff did anything at all.
It sizzles. It sizzles immensely. Like you spill boiling oil, like boiling water on the ground. Like the steam comes up. It's just like adding water to acid.
That's not good.
So guys, what if we use the rope, carefully tie it around the end of the rod where the stone would be, like it's straight up and down with the stone acting as an anchor point, if that makes sense what I'm saying, and hold it so that the end of the rod is just into the acid, but the rope is not touching the acid, and see if we could get that magnetic effect to happen again.
I mean, like, the second the rope goes into the acid, the rope's gonna burn. We already tried that before.
I know, based on what you guys said, I just don't see a way for us to get down there to...
He's hoping that we don't lower it enough that the...
Right, what I'm hoping is if we dip the end of this rod just into the acid, that it won't affect the rod because it's not affecting the piece that's down there that looks like it would have all been connected. And B, that it would be close enough just to trigger that, because Sai and I bending in to the... bending into the well... was close enough for it to have caused a reaction. So if we could get it close enough...
Maybe they'll fuse.
Maybe they'll fuse and we could just pull up the whole thing at once.
I mean, we could give it a shot, but, like, if we lose it down there, who's going in to get it back?
It's been an honor.
What do we have to do?
Anybody can
what do we have to do for an acid check? Like... Can anyone swim through acid?
Are you asking mechanically how acid works, like in Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes.
See, that's why I was asking if we could check the pH of the other thing. If it was basic, we could neutralize it.
If you're asking me from like a above board, like, hey, we're new players, how does acid work? Most harmful substances like acid have a difficulty class associated with them that involves either halving or nullifying the damage. So there is a number that if you were to say fall into the acid, you would roll a kind of saving throw, you don't know which, and that would determine how much damage you take. I will say this, it is a game. If you fall into the acid, it does not instantly kill you. It's not like, goodbye character.
What's happening?
There is numbers associated with it, but there is like if you fall a thing, I will have you roll a kind of thing. If you try to reach your hand in super quick and then pull it out super quick, I will have you roll a thing, and those determine the numbers. I don't want to tell you, like, the damage roll of acid, because then we're kind of metagaming with, like, who has more health? Just reach in there. So I'm not going to do that. But I will say, like, there is ways around this without giving away the goat. They're debating the functionality of acid.
If we follow Ataraxi's idea and just keep pouring the water from the other well in, I feel like we'll neutralize it enough where it shouldn't be an issue and we can kind of swim down there again.
Can we just, like, light the acid?
Like on fire?
Is it flammable?
I don't.
Yeah. Can I cast Firebolt on it?
I'll say this.
I could also cast Fairy Fire.
Yeah, I don't think acid is flammable like IRL, nor do I think acid is flammable in D&D. You cast Firebolt, Firebolt hits it. There's a sizzling because it's a liquid that is then immediately hit by a strong source of heat. So any water that was in the acid, it flash boils and steam comes out. But you don't notice a particular, like it's not like it evaporates so much that the level goes down. If anything, you offset the water that Calyx put in, but there's no like state of matter change or magical change.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of want to keep adding water and just keep going back and forth between the two wells.
So you're gonna take like a water. You're gonna take like a water skin, go to the well that's full with 10 foot of water, and just keep dumping water from one well to the other until what?
I don't really have much until the sizzling ceases to some degree. If nobody has any other idea besides let's go in the water, you know what I mean?
If I was gonna say you can if you so choose to do that, like if everyone, because you all have like 1 gallon water skins, right? So if you all choose to just train water skins and dump 6 gallons every 6 seconds into the well will fill it up pretty quick and it will have an effect. I just need to know if you're committing to it because it will take time.
Can acid be frozen?
I don't think so.
And we can't swim through it.
Yeah. Also, if you were somehow to freeze it, you couldn't get the thing.
No.
Yeah, but if
Oh.
could we then lift the chunk of ice out?
It'd be frozen to the walls.
It'd be frozen to the walls of the well. It's a stone, so there's like little. It's like cinder block stone well. So
It'd
there's
be
like all these
intrinsically
catch points
frozen
that it
into
would
the
be
structure.
really annoying.
Wait, then can we blow it up?
Well, if you blew it up with heat, you would just melt the ice, and then it would be liquid acid again.
Not if it's like
This man is speaking. He is wise in the ways of science.
Listen, I've never Googled if you can freeze acid. I think you can. God's gonna say acid doesn't freeze in this world because I've never thought of that. But I
I
think
think
he'll
we have
think
some
so.
battery acid in the garage. We could go do an experiment really quick.
No.
You've been in this room,
Not
guys.
say we
You've
did.
been in this room. You've been in this room an hour. Please do not start doing experiments in the garage.
I'm just gonna start dumping water in.
Okay,
Nobody
I'll do
else
it
is-
too.
Okay. So if everyone
Okay.
I'll help, I guess.
helps out, if everyone helps out, then you very quickly start. You lower the water level in the middle well by about half, and you raise the water level in the top well by about half, and it is coming up. And as you are raising it, it is slowly. You can tell it's slowly sizzling less and less and less, and it is now about 50-50 water and acid. Do
So
you?
it's neutral.
It's now 10 foot deep, mind you, of liquid. There's no more free space in the well. You're at the brim, but the sizzling is significantly decreased. You would argue it's been diluted by about half its percentage. So you're pretty
Felix is gonna
confident it
tie his
wouldn't
hair
hurt.
into a ponytail.
Wait,
and He's getting ready to jump in.
Wait, hold up,
Alex,
hold up,
before you
hold up.
jump in, Alex, before anybody
Wait a
jumps in the
minute.
well, can we test if the rope still burns in this well, please?
Yeah. So what you
Let's
take like
do
you
that.
take like 1 foot of rope and you
Oh.
dip it.
Can we use
Yeah.
a different thing? No, wait. I just tear off a piece of my shirt and I drop it in.
Okay, so
Why your
it
shirt?
hits the top of the. Your shirt is still wet from being in the first well too, so there's some water in there too. It
Oh.
lands on the acid water mixture. It starts to sink slightly because it's a waterlogged piece of fabric, and you watch as slowly over the course of say 10 seconds, the edges of the cloth start to get eaten in, and the whole thing disappears in, I don't know, if you watch it that long, maybe a minute. And it's like it is significantly slower than the rope that, granted, you didn't see the rope melt, but everyone who watched the rope melt the first time in the metal hook, it's significantly less of a reaction.
Can we please
so it's
test
still
one?
acidic.
Detect magic.
Can
It
we
is
please
it
test
is
one
still
foot of
acidic.
rope?
Yeah, and at this point, Detect Magic has ended, yes.
Can we please test 1 foot of rope to see how long it would last? Because if it doesn't disappear immediately, we can tie the staff and send it all the way down and pull it all the way up before the rope melts.
Okay.
Okay, so you're dipping
Okay.
you're dipping 1 foot of like of Calyx's like hempen rope
But then
that
we
he has
lose
in
the
his
whole
adventures kit.
thing.
How do we lose one thing? What?
Like if we, well, it's
If
fine.
we
let's
dip a
do
foot
it.
of the rope in, the worst we lose is a foot of rope.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
let's-
talking
can you-
about if we tie the rod to the end and it doesn't
Well, we're-
stay on the end because the
that's what we're
rope
testing.
disintegrates.
That's why we're testing the rope.
That's why we're testing
That's
the
we're
rope to
testing
see
1
what the
foot of
burning capabilities are. Because if we can hold it in here for close to 2 minutes,
There's
then
plenty of
it's
time.
fine.
It only is going to take, 10 seconds to drop it down and pull it back up?
Because it took your shirt like a minute to burn out completely.
Calix, you're okay with offering up a foot of your rope?
I'm okay
Yeah.
with offering up a foot of the rope.
All right, let's drop it in and test it and see how long
So
it
you're
takes.
cutting off like a segment of rope and then you're just like holding it in there?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, we're dangling it like a noodle.
Okay. How long are you willing to watch it? Because I will say after the first
2 minutes.
60 seconds, yeah, there's less rope, but it still looks like a pretty good chunk of rope. Like there's some sizzling, some steam, but hempen rope is bound really tight and really thick, and it's treated to be kind of waterproof. After like a minute or two, yeah, there's damage to the rope. The rope is taking damage. It is no longer pristine, but it looks like rope that you left it out in the sun for a year. It's still functional rope. It's not like, whereas the first time the rope was gone after like 5 seconds. This rope is still, you feel like you're pretty confident you could still hold like a relatively heavy object with this rope after like 2 minutes.
Guys, I
Seems
think
good
we
enough
got
to me.
I think we know what we have to do.
I think
Okay.
Ataraxia needs to tie a knot, and then we need to confirm how good the knot is before we send the staff down.
I'm going to use the help action with that as well to tie for the not tying.
Okay, Ataraxia, you can roll the survival again, roll twice, take the highest for the knot. I will say, this is this is a smooth metal object with very little like handles or catching other than the gem. you're gonna need
Yeah,
to
we're
roll.
tying it around
You're gonna need to roll significantly better than if you were just tying it around like a bucket. Like it's the DC quote unquote is a little higher.
Okay, so you said I can roll twice.
Roll twice and take the highest number.
Oh.
Okay.
Did it go
21.
twice?
It went twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had 19 to 21, so we'll take the 21. So
I like the 21.
you and Calyx look at the rope and you're like, technically not the best knot you've tied all day. That would be the last one you tied by 1, but you are very confident that like so long as hypothetically there wasn't something at the bottom of the well that grabbed it and yanked it or attempted to untie it, that this rope isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
If you guys are confident,
Calyx is gonna
I can hear it in your voice,
running
and I
the
say
rope
we
down.
go for it.
Okay, so Calyx, you
Calyx is going to start lowering.
so
And your deep lettering-
lowering.
No, the angst in my voice was because I was listening to God. It's fine.
So you're lowering the two-piece combined metal shaft and gem that was made. You're lowering that down on the rope, and you're going to attempt to touch the little arrowhead shaped sapphire piece of metal at the bottom of the acid well.
Sounds like the plan, because
Okay.
they didn't let me jump in. Yes.
Okay. So I assume you're all gathered around the well watching it in case something happens, so that you could like be ready for it. There is, once the rod gets about 5 foot down, there's a little flash from the rod that you think something is happening, but detect magic has worn off. You don't know what. And then as you go further down and you get within about a foot of the arrowhead, that magnetic like shunk happens, and you watch as the arrowhead flies up and attaches to the other end of the metallic rod that doesn't have the gem, and that same blue flash happens under the acid, and it fuses into one thing, and it's now just sitting there under the acid.
I
Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up,
Okay.
pull it up.
You pull it out super
Pull it
quick. You pull it out super quick.
Try not to touch it with your hands.
It's been under the acid for only a few seconds, so I would say the rope, for all intents and purposes, is still counted as regular rope. You don't need to put damage or anything. You did it pretty quick, and you diluted the water, or you diluted the acid significantly. And now, if anyone looks at the piece of metal now, it once again, just like the other time, there's no seam, there's no screw. It now appears to be what you can now tell is a very ornate magic wand that has a pommel gem, sapphire pommel gem, and a wand tip, like wand tip arrowhead, and it seems to be this sapphire metallic magic wand that's radiating that blue magic.
What happens if we bring it to the thing in the middle room?
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
my
I or
idea.
Ataraxia, you two are the most.
In
You two
touch.
seem to have the most in tune with magic. I mean, Ataraxia, you were able to hear stuff before, and Sai, you were able to have an interaction with that the statue in the first place. So I think one of you two has got to go bring it maybe to that area that's not lit up.
Okay.
Let's all
Brad-
walk there together.
Yeah,
Let's talk together. Wait, who is carrying it right now?
I don't
Calyx.
have it.
Calyx is the one who pulled the rope out, so Calyx is holding it.
And I'm like indifferent, and we're just gonna like walk over together.
Okay. So, because I'm moving your token, I'll say this.
Ataraxia, get off me.
When I move your token to the entranceway to the big grand room, everyone walks in front of you. The wand in your hand vibrates ridiculously, like it is trying to break out of your grasp through, not like it's being pulled, but it's shaking violently, like an earthquake centered in your palm. Do you do anything?
Like it's trying to go towards the well or towards
like
the
it's
statue.
like it's I can't think of something in universe that shakes. I'm talking like you're driving 65 down the highway with no cab mounts. Like you're shaking. Like it's not shaking in any
No cab mounts?
Yeah, like it's like no mounts. Like your cab is barely connected to your car, and you're going 65, and you're getting the wobble. Like it's vibrating in no particular
Like a
direction.
death wobble.
It's just vibrating.
I'm good at making worlds. Stay out of cars.
And
I'm trying my best.
and so like it's not going towards the statue or
No,
the well or
it's
any
going
which way.
in- it's some-
shaking.
It's as though it's trying to be pulled in every direction simultaneously, and so it's vibrating in place in all directions.
So what if we
Does
just
it get-
stab the statue with it?
Can I?
No, do you continue walking forward into the room? Do you walk back?
I kind of stop and
Okay.
let everybody know that, hey guys, this thing is freaking out. Should I keep going or should I like hold it here for now? I don't know what it's gonna do.
I think
Did
maybe keep going, but everybody clear a path just in case.
agreed.
And
Calix, how do you feel about this?
well, we never
You
untied
feel
the
like you have a good
rope,
grip.
so I'm gonna keep the good grip, but I'm gonna have the rope tied around my forearm just in case
Okay, and then so
it
you,
like goes flying back to the well.
okay,
or
so
not.
you have it wrapped around your arm,
Stop.
and then and you walk into the room.
Now that you said it like that, I'm rethinking it. To be honest,
I'm not influencing you in any way. I need
Bullshit, guy.
before I start describing something, I always want to confirm because I don't want to take your actions for you. This is your adventure.
You're questioning,
You
confirming.
can't,
is
since you
not
can't move
helpful.
your own token.
Yeah, because
You kinda
I'm
need
moving
to
your
know
Yeah.
what
token, so
you're
you
doing.
need to tell me
Fair.
when
You
you're
know what?
taking a step.
I'm just gonna kind of hold it in both of my hands, and I'm just gonna walk it into the room.
Okay,
I'm
you
not
ta-
gonna keep the rope wrapped around my forearm or anything like that.
You take one step into the room. Now the wand is pulling. It is pulling in the direction of the statue, but also vertically. Like you look at the statue and you remember, because this was 2 weeks ago, that the statue was of two orbs that were being held aloft by this like half dragon, half man, and the wand wants to it's trying to pull upwards and outwards towards that orb, but like diagonally.
And has everybody cleared a path away? Because I'm gonna tell everybody I'm
Yes.
gonna let go.
They're drawing a
than
line
five.
between you and the statue. Yeah, there's nobody there.
Perfect. I'm gonna let go then.
You let go. The wand drops to the floor.
Oh, okay, then, fair enough. I pick it up and I walk it all the way over. I guess.
Okay. Okay. You walk up. You walk up right next to the altar.
And I kind of like put it in place where I believe the second orb should go.
Okay, well, the orb is 30 feet. So there's a 10-foot plinth, and then the statue's 20 feet tall. So the orb is 30 feet in the air, 35 feet in the air. So you can't reach the orb. So are you touching the bottom of the statue, or are you like throwing the wand at the orb?
I'll touch the bottom of the statue.
With the wand,
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Okay.
Wait,
I
guys,
throw
what
it.
about we go? Isn't there 2 more tunnels to inspect?
Yeah.
We should probably see.
What if
If
we
this
go-
doesn't draw itself, do you think it's helpful for the next part of this?
I'm gonna just leave the wand on it, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, let's go check out the other room."
I think we should keep the
Like,
wand
if
with
it's
us.
not-
You might need it in
I don't
there.
think we should leave the wand because
Yeah,
whoever's
I
in the
think we
other
should keep
room
it
might.
with us. Because what if we
True.
need it in that room? What if there is something?
Okay, then I will keep the
I-
wand with me,
Stupid
and we'll go to the next room together.
You're keeping the wand in your hand. You're putting it on the altar, or you're putting it in your pocket, like in your pack.
I'm gonna keep it in my hand.
Okay. The entire time it's in your hand,
really
it's still doing the vibrating pull thing.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Can I hold it?
Whoa, that's new.
Sure. Do you have any idea what's going on? And I hand it over to Sai.
Can I do like a Arcana check or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. You roll. Are you trying to do it based on your knowledge of magic, or are you trying to do it based on your feeling of what you are?
Feeling, not my knowledge of
roll
magic.
a straight charisma check.
Straight charisma.
Yeah, because that's your spellcasting ability. So you're trying to feel it out.
Oh, never mind.
It is definitely magical.
Yeah.
You put that together, and it is definitely
Fantastic.
related to this altar. You're 100% certain of that. There's some, you could even with a 5, because 5 is the easy, quote unquote easy DC anyway. There's a step you're missing, a sort of that you feel like part of the trial is the activation condition, right? It is a magic wand. Generally, magic wands have activation conditions. You need to do a specific thing with the wand for the magic to function. This wand's activation condition just appears to be very specific because it's presumably part of the trial. And so you could tell something to do with the wand and something to do with the altar. There's a step you need to take that you just aren't taking. But once you take it, you think the wand, you feel it is completely magically refurbished. Like there's no missing pieces. It's put together the right way. You're just missing that one specific step, that last push.
That is a hell of a feeling.
Could I
Guys, let's
cast a spell with it?
Cast a spell with the wand?
Yeah.
I think you need to attune. No, I guess you can just try to cast. Yeah, what spell do you cast? I guess you can just cast it. It doesn't require attunement technically.
Can I cast thaumaturgy? Oh no, that's a cantrip.
Yeah, I mean, you cast thaumaturgy through the wand. What what element are you trying to do? The rumbling, or are you trying to do the lighting change? Like, what are you trying to do?
Give me 1 second.
Because I believe it can make like a low rumbling. It could like make the lights go out. It can like make your eyes glow red. Like, what element of thaumaturgy are you trying to channel?
I guess like the rumbling.
The rumbling. So you like wave the magic wand, and you point it at yourself, and you channel the magic of thaumaturgy. No one around you has ever seen you cast thaumaturgy. To them, it looks completely normal. To you, it appears slightly more powerful. Like the rumbling is a little more than any other time you've used the spell, which you attribute to having a magical spellcasting focus as opposed to your normal one, which is just a mundane starting sorcerer spellcasting focus. So you can tell it's a functional magic wand and that it is empowering your spells to a degree, as it is. So it is functioning as a focus, but you don't think that channeling your magic through the wand is the wand's intended purpose. It doesn't give you that feeling.
Mm-hmm. I got nothing. That was my try.
Fair enough. To the next rooms. Do we go 3 and 3 into the tunnels, or we all stay together?
Let's stay together this time.
Okay, so which tunnel are you guys going? There's the top tunnel and leading to a hexagonal room, and a bottom tunnel leading to a hexagonal room.
Bottom.
Okay. The tunnels are only about 5 to 6 foot wide. You'd have to walk through in a straight line. Who's leading?
Do we want to scout it out?
I was gonna say, should I sneak in?
I was just gonna say, if we got the whole party with us, I say we just walk straight in.
You just walking straight in?
And what if there are booby traps, my guy?
Well, we're gonna hope those don't exist.
Should scout.
Okay, so Cole, are you scout? You're stealthing forward?
Yeah, I'll stealth forward.
Okay, roll stealth. Okay, 21. Very solid stealth. You feel like you aren't seen. You can move forward. Okay, as you walk forward, you look at like the architecture of the walls and stuff. It's all the same smooth stone you've been seeing. You don't see any indication that these walls, like, they never and stop. Okay, so you took a step forward. Roll a DC 12 dexterity save as you take a step forward while I was talking, and a pressure plate that you didn't see retracts about an inch into the ground. The stone to the left of you drops about 2 inches, and there are 2 black holes. Out shoots 2 darts at you at your head. Make a DC 12 dexterity save.
I'm gonna die. I see dexterity, but what? I'm
so just like you rolled before, where you rolled a strength save, it's that column but with dexterity.
Oh, wait, that looks like it's in a different spot.
It is.
Oh, it's above the skills. Right next to where all of your stats are.
Yeah. You guys, even though you guys are kind of far back, you just barely make it. You guys are kind of far back. You are watching him, and then you see his foot kind of go down a little extra inch, and then you hear thunk, thunk, and then you see 2 darts fly past his head, and he like matrix dodges at the last second, and they jam into the wall to his right, and there's 2 darts jammed like a quarter of an inch into the stone wall right to the right of his head.
I look at Onyx and I go, booby traps. Could have been your head.
Yeah.
Well, could have tanked it.
That's what the shield's for.
Okay, but how quick are you?
I don't know. How quick am I?
It doesn't matter.
In your heavy
Cole,
armor,
are
not
you
very.
okay? I shout down to Cole.
So
Are you okay?
I would say you guys are safe to come up to me at this point. The hallway was safe. Yes, God?
I don't know. You walked before I finished talking. Is it safe? It's safe. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, so
Calyx will follow up on the back behind Cole
Okay,
then.
so he'll go.
I will follow right
go
behind
first.
Calyx.
Okay.
I'll go behind Onyx, I guess.
I'll go.
Okay. Now that the incident has occurred, Cole, now that I can now finish describing the room that you see in front of you. You see
Yes,
it.
yes,
You
the
see
architecture.
the,
Stop
the
fucking
hallway. Nobody move, please. The hallway was completely barren. There was nothing on the floor or walls, no scratch marks, no indentations, no anything. It looked completely smooth as though carved by magic. The room in front of you is hexagonal in shape, and it does not appear that way. The walls are smooth, yes, but on the ground there are scuff and scratch marks. On the walls there are rub marks and like pin holes of where you would ping a hanger in or a python. And there are little piles here and there of like little decayed organic material that look like they might have been some kind of wood. Every indication of what you're seeing gives the impression that this was once some kind of storage room a very long time ago. Any sort of vessel, like a wooden crate or box or burlap sack, is long since degraded and has left only these weird residues, and these scuff marks imply that at one point there were boxes and crates and things here that have been quickly moved away. But these are very, very old, and there's dust everywhere.
So,
Also,
well,
I will say, the trap you set off, you're still standing on it, so you don't know if it resets or not. Your foot is still in the pressure plate where you're standing. You're still standing on the
Do we have
pressure
enough?
plate.
is there enough space for someone to squeak around me and
No.
scat out the room?
No, it's a 5-foot wide hallway, and you take up pretty much the whole hallway.
I'm going to put my foot on the pressure plate so Cole can move.
Okay, so I'll say, Cole, move one step forward, and then I will move. You know what? I'll say, Calyx, roll dex check to see if you get the timing right.
Yeah. Well, I can't just put it on before he starts moving, or no?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? I feel bad for you.
I feel
Thanks.
bad for
You feel
you.
bad for us or the timing?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Okay, so Calyx, you are
I will
now
advance
Calyx, you
forward.
are now standing on what you have now identified as a dart trap. You look to your left and you see the two holes that the darts came out of, and you look to your right and you see the two darts embedded into the stone. And then you look down.
I'm just gonna hold my shield up to the right.
And you look down and you see that little 1 foot square that your foot is in, that you're holding down with your body weight, only goes down like half an inch. Like, it was a fairly well hidden trap, but perceivable if you were really looking for traps. But you can see that this trap is also as old as the room I just described, where it does not appear. The stone is like, the paneling and everything is also dusty, and you could tell it's hasn't been triggered in a long, long time.
Okay. I'm gonna let Cole examine the room, and can I just kind of hold my shield up to the dart holes and kind of like
So yeah, you
make a
raise,
passageway so everybody can walk in?
Are you holding your shield like in front of the holes, or you're placing your shield over the holes and like holding it, like blocking the holes?
I'm placing my shield over the holes and kind of holding it there.
Okay, and
so everybody can kind of squeak by.
And you're gonna like press yourself and your shield up against the wall so they could like squeak behind you, and everyone gets into the room.
Correct. Like like the warrior pose in yoga where everybody's like across and like, you know what I mean? Are you familiar or no?
With yoga, no, but I have a pretty good idea of. I think I'm visualizing what you're describing. So I'll say,
I'm kind of holding out my arm to the left to kind of like keep it against the holes, but I'm not standing on the other side of the holes.
In that case, then I will say, everyone can walk past Calyx, and I will say, Calyx, at some point, just from the amount of people walking around and behind and just where their feet are placed, you feel the trap activate again at some point, and you feel the two darts go into your shield. They don't penetrate your shield. You could feel the darts get stuck in the tubes that your shield is blocking. And then once everyone is past you, presumably you move your shield and you see the two darts that are jammed into it.
Neat. Did everybody get to the other side?
Sai is still in the hallway.
What?
You're still in the hallway. He's currently blocking the trap. If you'd like to pass him.
Okay. Can I disarm it?
Roll thieves' tools to disarm the trap.
That's smart.
Was waiting for somebody to do it.
Well, the shield works.
Yeah, it works.
It's gonna have to keep working.
Yeah. So you rolled a 10. Yep. You get your lockpicks up in between the little seam of where the pressure plate was, and you feel the little catch that was under there. That's like a spring that's designed to reset every time it's like stepped on and then weight is placed on and off. And you tell it takes about 20 pounds of force to set the trap off. It's fairly sensitive, and you can with your hooks like pop the spring and disconnect it, and you're pretty confident the trap is disabled.
You're good to pick your foot up.
Well, thank you very much, Sai. And I'm gonna pick my foot up.
You pick your foot up and the trap does not reset. It's like stuck that little half an inch depression, and it's like there's no spring to push it back up, so it's just kind of locked down. The holes, however, are still like the mechanism that dropped the little sheet of stone that was blocking the holes goes up, and you can no longer see where the holes are, but the pressure plate does not activate. So it seems like the thing that signals the tubes is disconnected.
Do the darts have any like poison on them or anything like that? I'm wondering if I could keep them for later as like darts.
Roll investigation on the darts.
Damn it. Well, I figured that out in the app. If somebody else wants to talk, that's a-okay with me.
Okay. Does someone want to investigate the room?
Sure.
See if there's anything in here?
Sorry, my roll was for the darts to see if they were still usable as poison or what have you.
Okay.
I'm stupid. Don't let me investigate anything.
Okay, so the darts with a 16, you pull the darts out of the wall and you look at them and you do see on the darts that the darts were sharpened and they have not been worn. So like they're still like not factory sharp, but you can tell whoever made the darts, they have not been fired. And on them is like they haven't been reloaded into the trap. I mean, like they're not. This is the first time you could tell that these darts have been shot. And on them is the residue of what you can, with your investigation, determine to have been poison. But this poison is so dried and almost flaky that the poison has completely denatured. Like, this poison has been on these darts since someone loaded the darts into the trap. And then presumably they were never fired, and they've been sitting in this trap for who knows how long. So long that all the enzymes and proteins that would have made this poison have just, the time has degraded their structure, and it is just arbitrary flaky substance on a dart. They have no mechanical effect.
Fair enough. I'm going to kind of just add my darts to my pack. I'm going to ask for it. Does anybody want darts? If not, I'm going to keep these.
Well, you should have how many? 4?
You're
2
good.
from the wall and 2 from your shield?
I'm just taking the ones from my shield, though. I'm not going to try and pull them out of the wall.
Fair enough.
Okay, and that 8 investigation, by the way, for the room, you find nothing in that room.
All right, guys. So I think I'll stealth forward to try to get into this next chamber.
Okay. You can keep you can keep the 21 because it's still all
Just
kind
be
of the same
careful.
room.
Okay.
Okay. So before you step into the other room, I think you should do an investigation to see if there's any plates see if there's any traps at the entrance to the next room.
You can check for traps. It's investigation.
Okay.
It's right there.
Okay.
You now that you've seen the trap once, you look down at the floor and you don't see any indication of a trap that you don't see a trap there. You don't see any obvious tripwires. You don't see any pressure plates. You don't see any magic runes. Just looks like what looks like what was once a doorway, but is now just a point where the stone does not connect. Like there's no wood or there's no support beam. It's all rotted away or has been removed.
Okay. So you gotta have to tell us that.
All right. Yeah, guys, I don't see anything in here, so I'm going to continue moving forward into the
I
room.
will follow right behind Cole.
Okay.
I'm sticking in the back with everybody else in case something happens.
Okay.
So
Can
once
I
you-
roll investigation?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Hold on one second. Once you cross the threshold into that second like hexagon-shaped room, you see more of what I described in the first room of like scuff marks, wall pings, rubbing marks on the floor. everything that would indicate that like this was a series of interconnected rooms that all have been appear to have been utilized for some kind of storage, and they had doorways in between them, but it looks like these two were both storage rooms.
Can I roll an investigation check to see if there's anything in the room?
In the room, yeah, I'll roll investigation.
Yep, that's shit.
Oh my god!
Yep, that's shit. That ain't gonna find Jack.
It's a hexagon shaped room.
It's that's fair.
Can I ask Brontix if he like notices anything magical or out of place?
Not at the moment. If you would like, I can cast detect magic again.
You don't have to. I was just wondering if you noticed anything abnormal, because you are, and from what I can tell so far, one of the more magically literate people in our party.
Can I inspect the room for magical items?
Yeah, you can do investigation.
I just do investigation?
Yep, just click investigation. Bottom hex room. Okay. Yeah. So you're looking over this room and you're like, Size didn't said there was nothing in here. There's a lot of scuff marks. It looks like there used to be a lot in here, but it's all been moved out or it's all rotted away. And then you're like, the floor, like in the center of the room where Calyx is standing, is raised, like ever so slightly raised, like a couple of inches. And you're like, well, this is the same stone floor that the entire dungeon has had. It's all carved stone. It's all one piece. Why is it raised then? What, was there one rock that they just didn't bother to move? That's weird. And that's what you notice.
Okay.
Okay.
You should maybe step. Wait. Are you sharing that with everybody?
Yes.
Calyx, you may want to step off of that.
Step off of what? Everything looks kind of level. It doesn't cover the entire floor.
No, it's just that little 3 foot by 3 foot section, like right in front of you, like where half your character is. I know you can't see, but it's like a little bit over, and it's that little dead center of the hexagon shaped room. There's like a little bump, like a completely.
Can I see if it's like a trap door and I can lift it?
You could do either investigation, or if you want, you could try to hit it with a weapon, or you could try to peel it. Like if you want to dig your fingers into the stone, what are you trying to do?
Let me see what my best options are, and then I'll get back to you. Give me a minute. Sorry, a little bit give me here, but I feel like just trying to pry it up, kind of like it's a trap door, just test each side.
Okay.
Just kind of peel it.
Are you using any sort of implement? Do you have a crowbar or a short sword? You don't care bending? Are you using any sort of leverage, or are you just trying to brute force dig your fingers into some stone and rip it
have
up?
a dart that I just got. If I can jam it in there, then use that, get my fingers in, and then pull up.
I have a crowbar I can loan you if you want.
I don't know if the crowbar will last, but I'm down if you're okay with it. So I guess I'll take the crowbar from Cole.
I will say, if you are using the crowbar, you can roll athletics with advantage to try to work this piece of stone.
Let's do that. I like that.
Okay, 18.
Oh, God.
18.
I'll take the 18.
Yeah. So you catch the end of the crowbar, it was barely visible. You honestly didn't even see it. You were feeling with the crowbar. You were just listening to it drag on the smooth stone, and then you felt the teeniest, tiniest bump, and you just use your brute strength, and you just jam it into the stone, and you almost dig it into the stone to get leverage, and you peel it up. This is heavy stone, and because specifically you tried to do this, and you have the powerful build thing that doubles the amount of weight that you can push, lift, or flip, you're able to just by yourself brute force flip, and you flip a 3 foot by 3 foot stone panel that has been carved with a relief on the bottom, and the ground is just dirt. It looks like the dirt that was under this stone. This is a section of stone that was carved specifically to be placed over this bump and appear seamless. This is some sort of hidden recess that is but it's just dirt. It's full of dirt.
I guess I'll push the dirt aside and kind of see if there's anything below it immediately.
Say anybody got a shovel?
Yeah, you push the dirt aside with your hands, and there's just more dirt. Like you get the feeling
Okay.
that if you wanted to like this was a 3 foot by 3 foot relief, who knows how deep, you'd probably need to take a couple minutes to like dig to see if there's like a bottom.
I'm gonna ask if anybody has a shovel, and I'm gonna start digging and ask if everybody else wants to check out the other rooms while Calyx is preoccupied just digging.
I will say
I do not have-
anyone who says has like an adventurer's pack or an explorer's pack, it doesn't
I have an explorer's
it doesn't
pack.
specifically say you have a shovel, but logically you would have some sort of trowel or something that would for like digging latrines for like camping. Logically,
so
you would
I'll-
have it, so I'll say you have one.
I'll
So
help
if I
with
have
the
an
trowel.
explorer's pack, I can help with a shovel.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you would like to also dig with Calyx, you will have the time necessary to dig.
Okay,
I
I'm
will
gonna help.
Okay, so you're
And-
cutting it. So you're 3 people are digging.
Yes,
Thank
I
you,
will.
Addy and Onyx.
Okay,
That
then
would
it
leave
is.
the
I will
three of
say.
us to
I
go
will say it
forward.
will take about. You estimate maybe 3 minutes. So if any of the other three would like to do something in the preceding 3 minutes, you
I
can.
guess I'll go check out the other rooms a little bit.
I would
Well,
agree.
this- the room you-
Sai, as soon as you walk through the door, you get this weird. It's a feeling you haven't felt since you know who busted your horn. Like that welling in your chest, and that everything that happened in this room. Something about this room. Your body's just feeling it. Something about it. You don't know what, you don't know where, you don't know why. It's like your body just traveled back in time. And and you're full of that feeling.
I don't move any farther forward.
No, by the way,
And I kind of-
everyone else, none of what I just said is physically visible. She's not glowing or you don't feel any magic. It's purely psychological.
I'm kind of just like frozen in the doorway and I'm not moving anymore.
Unfortunately,
would-
Calyx is like focusing on the door
Yeah.
on the thing, so he's not gonna notice.
Yeah, you
Guys,
guys,
there
as
is
you
no one to
dig,
follow?
like you're just kind of pushing dirt wherever, and
What?
you're making pretty quick progress.
Is there a reason you don't want to come into the rest of the room? Is something wrong?
I don't like the feeling that I'm getting standing in this room.
Prontes, can you check the room for magic?
I'd like to do an investigation on the room then.
Okay, roll investigation.
Should we be casting detect?
I don't
15.
know why I double rolled it.
That's fine. I'll take the 13, 15. It doesn't matter either way. Yeah, you find something. You look, and as you're kind of walking around and you're vibing, and the group has realized that making the wizard do investigation checks is the good move. You see
Not on it.
you see on the right side of that centermost hex room, on the backmost wall, kind of towards the
Like,
left.
about here.
Yeah, about there. And then like where that corner is, like in that spot between. Yeah, right there. But that's in the wall. There is, very well hidden, but you found it, a fake wall. Like it's a like how in a drawer would have a false bottom. There's a false bottom to the wall. It's a piece of fabric painted exquisitely to look like stone. And like the only way if anyone else had looked at it, they would have thought it was stone unless they had physically actively ran their hand over every square inch of the room. That's the only way you would know unless you were the one who put it here. And you peel the fabric back and it reveals a catch slide for like a blocker that was like the back side of the fabric so that it didn't catch the wind and wasn't obvious. And it slides and it reveals a 1 foot by 1 foot stone cubby with things in it.
Here, cubby.
What is it?
Can
I'm still not moving. I'm kind of like touching my horn now, the broken one.
Can I check the items that were
Yep.
in it?
You find the following: a normal rock, about the size of your fist, just a perfectly smooth, looks like a river rock. It's like gray.
A skipping rock.
Yeah, not that flat, like a little thicker than that, almost ovular in shape, like almost like an egg, but it's rock.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly a rock. It's not actually an egg, but it's almost egg shaped.
Oh,
Okay.
a perfect rock.
Yep.
It's not just a boulder. It's a rock.
It's a rock. You also find in a little leather pouch a piece of parchment paper that's in the pouch, seemingly preserved within the pouch. And you find a little wooden box. The wood has degraded over time, even though it's been protected by the cubby. But the box does not appear locked. It's just like a barely holding together. And you can feel by moving the box that there's one solid thing in the box. Do you pull the box out of the cubby, or do you open it?
Do it.
I'm gonna open the box.
You open the box. Inside the box is a potion.
I will take said potion.
Okay, you pull the potion out of the box. You pull it out of the cubby. Do you intentionally obscure or hide the potion anyway, or do you just pull it out and go, "Hey, I found a potion"?
I'll just say I found a potion.
Hey, Sai, the second you see that potion, it's like Vietnam flashbacks. That potion in his hand, you have no other way to describe it. It's like the feeling of when you first awakened your magic in a bottle. Something in that bottle, something about you feel like you're in that bottle. Something about you is in that bottle that he's holding in his hand. But it just appears like an opaque glass bottle with a vaguely dark liquid in it. There's no signifying marks, there's no label. Something about that bottle. And you can tell that is clearly the feeling that you're feeling. It's from that bottle.
From the flashbacks of being hit or whatever.
Yeah.
And shit. As soon as you pull the bottle out, Sai kind of like stumbles back and like hits her back against the wall. Like as if she was just gonna try and run away, but like she couldn't because she hit the corner of the wall and kind of just like slides down to the floor.
I'm gonna notice and ask if everything's okay.
What is that?
There's no labels on it. It just seems to be some potion.
It kind of looks as you get closer to her that like she doesn't want you to come any closer with that bottle.
Sai, what's wrong? Do you recognize something?
She kind of is having like a lot of trouble getting the words out. This doesn't feel right. Whatever that is, I don't like it.
What would you like us to do with it?
I don't know. I just don't think you should have it.
Kalik shouts, "Put it back in the wall!"
How are we making out with the digging?
You're it's been about her like this conversation, her little episode, the kind of like her vision funneling out, because 3 of you are digging. You are about 9, just about 10 foot deep, and you're like, this is just
Jesus
dirt.
Christ.
And then
This was a waste of time.
yeah, and then guys, like I would intentionally put a waste of time in here. Once you hit as they're talking about this potion, you're overhearing obviously about them talking about it. You're like, oh, that's potion, that's weird. Why is she reacting? It's just a potion. It doesn't do anything unless you drink it or whatever. You hear thunk, and you look down, and all 3 of you have hit a stone box at about 10 foot deep.
Stone?
Like,
Can we
dig around
that
it
box?
to see if it's like we can open it like it's a chest? Or
Oh yeah,
like, can we like dig around it?
Yeah, once you move the dirt around it, it's not part of the surrounding stone. It is a hewn stone chest with like a like it's flush. There's no lock or like key placement. It looks like it being hidden was the security measure, but you just happened to find that little bump, and then you spent the 10 minutes digging that. You're like, oh, well, 3 minutes because there's 3 of you. And you're like, oh, how convenient, we stumbled upon it. And it is about 3 foot by 3 foot. And it's heavy, but you could lift it if you wanted, and you could lift it out of the hole if you wanted to.
Hold up. Before we do that, I think we should investigate it. I just don't think I'm the person to do it.
I open the chest, no thoughts.
You open the chest.
Open the chest.
I open the chest, no thoughts.
Okay. You open the chest, and it is not locked. It flips open. It flips open with a thunk because the lid is also stone and there's no hinge. So the lid just comes off and crashes into the back wall. It doesn't break, but it's
Did I
extremely
open up a
heavy.
sarcophagus?
No, it's stone. Like it's and you look at it and you look inside of it and you see the following. One singular piece of paper.
Neat.
That's it. In this whole 3 foot by 3 foot box, there is in the center of the box somehow perfectly preserved a singular piece of parchment paper. It shows no age.
I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna read it, but not out loud because I know that's not what you're supposed to do when you find random.
So you reach into the chest, you grab it, and you pull it out of the chest.
Correct.
Roll a d6.
A d6.
There is no save. Roll a d6. The dice, a 1d6
Okay.
dice.
No, I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Like I heard that right. Did it go through?
It did. It's a 1.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Roll a d6. Okay. So you roll a 1, and then I need to check my table.
Oh, it's effects. I thought I was so excited for a hot second.
Why? God, you make it seem like I'm so evil.
So God, I'm curious of something
Yes.
because it's just got the best of me. So, Calix ripped up the floor, and it was a 3 foot by 3 foot cement or stone square. Yes.
Yes.
And they dug down 3 of them in a 3 foot by 3 foot hole,
Yeah.
10 feet, and removed a box that's 3 feet.
He has a
by
very
3
good
feet.
point right now.
I am aware of the
And-
numbers. I am aware of the
And
numbers.
they never even pulled the box out, and there's 3 of them in this hole that is 3 feet by 3 feet. But Calix couldn't fit in a 5 foot well.
No, that's when I say I don't. They're not.
implied.
At no point did I say that they were all in the hole. I'm saying that the box is 3 foot by 3 foot. I'm assuming that because they're working as a team, one person is moving the dirt, one person's clearing the dirt, one person's expanding the hole. Like you can only take once you're 5 foot down, you can't take.
Semantics.
Yeah,
They're chipping
Can
the
we-
yeah. It is.
Can we
It is.
just continue?
Yeah, this is why it was. This is why it would have taken one person about 10 minutes of constant back-breaking work and dedication to unveil the chest. Because there are 3 of them, it cut the time in a third. Don't worry about how they did it. They're adventurers, and you're all very good at what you do.
All right, I was just confused by the
Yeah.
3 foot hole
Yeah.
on top.
Looking at my table, you rolled
All
a
this
1.
is happening while Saya is
Yeah.
like having a panic attack.
Yeah. Yes. You
You got it,
hilariously. So you pull the piece of paper out, and as soon as you pull it out of the chest, it shimmers slightly. You go to read to read the piece of paper. You cannot read it.
That's neat.
It is not written. It is not written.
Alex, what does it say?
It is not written in a language.
While this is
I
happening,
can't read it, and I kind of pass it up out of the hole and hand it to somebody else.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
He doesn't fit the hole.
Hush.
They climb out of the hole.
Okay.
Okay. So
Gonna
who's
climb out of the hole.
now? They both said I'm taking it. Who's taking it? This is important.
I said it first.
I said it at the same time.
Maddie said it first.
Maya
I
and
heard
I
it
heard
from
it first.
Ataraxia first.
What?
Sounds like you've been
Yeah,
outvoted
Meanwhile,
on it.
said it
Alex
first.
Danica actually is
let-
on point
yeah.
with who said what.
Let's put it this way, Calix. Who would you hand it to if they both said here? Like, give it to me. Which one are you handing it to? Onyx or to
I would
Atarax?
probably hand.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ! Already, I feel like this
Lines
is one of
are
those like,
getting
making
drawn.
points moments.
It's a social game.
I'm gonna hand it to Ataraxia because
Okay.
she's been there for me so far the most.
Okay, Atarax.
What?
You hold in your hand this piece of paper. Do you attempt to read it?
Yes.
You can read it. It is not a
God damn
language.
it.
It is not a language. It isn't anything. It's a spell scroll written in arcane text. Like because you can cast magic, you can kind of suss out what it says. It's not really of use. Like you could cast it if you wanted, but it isn't particularly of use to you. And you can tell that it is a spell scroll of the spell Thunderwave.
I want that.
Wave.
Out of game.
You can add that to your inventory.